Hey guys, what's going on? Ryan Stewart here with Weber. So I'm starting a new thing where I'm interviewing some influencers around the community. In this first episode, we're here with Tim Soulo of Ahrefs, and we're going to talk about his somewhat controversial case study about on-page SEO that launched last week. So I'm excited. How you doing, Tim?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, man, anytime. So for the people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I'm in charge of marketing and product development of Ahrefs. This is a tool for, well, it's known as a backlink tool. We have a huge index of backlinks, and this is what we are primarily known for. But we also do a lot of extra stuff like keyword research, competitive research, and other stuff. So yeah, pretty much Ahrefs is a great tool set for data-driven marketers. And I'm happen to be in charge of their marketing, product development, and all that stuff.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, Ahrefs has come a very long way to compete now with the traditional competitive research tools, right? Like the SEM rushes, and there's actually, yeah,
and
there's a lot of really awesome features in the new Ahrefs.
Yeah, and actually, we had this functionality like for showing you the keywords that the site is ranking for like 3 years ago.
Okay.
But then we rolled it back because our CEO Dmitry didn't really want to rely on Google on something that was not really predictable.
Sure.
So we gave like 3 years to guys like SEMrush and SpyFu to dominate this market. But then our CEO decided that we need to put this feature back. So basically, we didn't have to develop anything. It has always been there in the background.
Yeah, I think in today's market, just with the rise of content and how important that is, I mean, there's no better way to develop content than using, I mean, you have to, right? You have to understand what other people are doing and what's working.
Exactly.
It's a really powerful
and even because Google no longer shows you the keywords that you rank for and that bring you traffic, this is also pretty cool to know it for your own site.
Exactly. So the reason I got you here is this 2 million SERPs case study about on-page SEO. Do you want to give us a little kind of high-level intro about that case study?
Yeah, well, where this case study actually came from is that I talk to Ahrefs customers a lot. I love doing this because it helps me to understand like what new features they need, how they use Ahrefs, and all that stuff. And actually, like the vast majority of things we add to Ahrefs today is something we get requested from our customers. So yeah, and what I noticed is that people who are not that experienced with SEO. So we have like guys who have a lot of experience, and we also have like lots of newbies because lots of new people are entering this field pretty much every day. And what I saw is that they're relying on exact match keywords too much. So they were pretty much asking me like, hey, I have this page, it doesn't have a keyword in title, in URL. If I put this keyword there, will I rank better? And I tried to like persuade them that this doesn't play much role these days, and they didn't really believe me. So I told them that this is something we see based on our data, based on the like small data samples, because like all the time to improve our metrics and improve our tools, we do small internal researches to test different theories. And what we were seeing is that exact match keywords like didn't correlate with rankings. And this is what made me want to publish this research. And this is where the actual on-page SEO is that controversy is coming from, because I really wanted to attract people's attention to this fact. And actually, if you read the comments to this article, a lot of people were actually saying thank you, because like they said, this is what I was trying to tell my boss for a very long time, and now I will just send him a link to this article and tell him stop asking me to like put exact match keywords in all these pages. This is not what will help us rank. We need to focus on different things. So yeah, and actually in my post, like the controversy trick was that I tried to like narrow down the definition of on-page SEO to specifically targeting exact match keyword. And in the actual article, I did clearly say that what I mean by on-page SEO doesn't work is that putting exact match keyword into these places will not move you up in the search results. But apparently many people didn't really read into the article, or maybe they didn't like the controversy of the actual headline. And so they were accusing us of like proclaiming something like something falsy. So yeah, we had to roll back a little bit and like avoid these controversial claims. So basically, I didn't change much in the article. I just changed the headline and I removed all the instances of on-page SEO is dead. So basically, the article stayed the same, and many people who like said that we were making false claims then said that the article was okay now, and they don't disagree with anything. So basically, all the data in this article and all the takeaways are correct. It's just like people didn't like that we were calling on-page SEO is dead. So
okay. So just to summarize, you had a theory based on the data that you saw internally working with these awesome best data sets internally at Ahrefs, and people were constantly asking you about on-page SEO and putting exact match keywords either on the page or in the title. And you had a theory that putting the exact match keyword in the title or on the page did not correlate to ranking for that keyword.
I'd say didn't move the needle.
Didn't move the needle?
I'd say it like this. Yeah, so if you have like a ranking number 10 and you put this keyword everywhere, it won't move you to number 9 or number 8. Well, actually, the answer is it depends. But if you take like 2 million keyword searches, you will discover that like the vast majority of the time, it doesn't help.
Yeah, so I want to come back to that. It depends, because these are all theories at the end of the day. None of us really know, but I have my own theories about it. But I mean, just to circle back, just to kind of wrap this. So can you tell us like exactly, or as much information as you can, about how you ran the case study? What data did you collect, and how did you analyze it?
Yeah, so we took 2 million pretty much random keywords, and we pulled the top 20, top 10 results for each keyword. Okay. Then we tried to filter out the impact of backlinks. So we have these metrics in Ahrefs: domain rank and URL rank. Mm-hmm. And we basically filtered all SERPs where the deviation of DR and UR was more than 30%. So basically, we only looked at the SERPs where top 10 results had the same DR and UR metrics. So basically, these were pages on sites in similar authority, and these were pages of similar authority according to backlinks. Okay. So yeah, we only studied, like narrowed it down to exclude the influence of backlinks. Mm-hmm. And then we studied the correlation of having exact match keyword, not partial match, but exact match keyword, like words in exact order, mm-hmm. somewhere in title, in URL, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and if we saw that, like having, if we saw that pages that rank like higher tend to have these features, that was a positive correlation. If we didn't see this was like zero correlation, or maybe even sometimes negative correlation. Okay.
And the keywords that you guys selected at random, in terms of how did you randomly select them? And I mean, what was kind of like the control for those keywords? So in other words, did they all have similar search volume? Did they all have similar competition? Did they all have similar maybe cost per click, or were they all just completely random across everything?
No, I think that they were completely random. To be honest, I can't say like for sure, because I need to check with the actual study. But yeah, I think that they were pretty much random keywords.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I can tell you for sure that we didn't look at any competition. We probably looked at volume, but again, we had in the actual study, I have 4 correlation numbers. Mm-hmm. One is total correlation, and 3 because all keywords were grouped into 3 groups by volume, like high volume keyword, medium, and low volume. And actually, I don't really like the grouping because in our case, low volume was like less than 20K searches, which in my opinion is not really low volume. So maybe when we will redo the experiment, we'll for low volume, we will assign something like, I guess, less than 1,000 searches. That would be a better, more accurate representation of low volume. But yeah, for all other things, these were random. Yeah, we didn't exclude like any branded terms or anything like this. Sure. It was just random.
I mean, a data set of that size, it's hard to control everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, just to summarize, it's they took a random set of keywords. They looked for correlation in terms of exact match keyword in that keyword with the top page's ranking. They pretty much filtered out links into the equation, which is smart because, as we all know, links are still the #1 ranking factor, unfortunately. And essentially what you found was that the correlation was, I don't want to say dead, but it was low between having the exact match keyword in the title or on the page and having a top ranking or pushing higher up in the SERPs.
Yeah, so, super low, especially when compared to backlink factors.
Sure. So what did you find? I don't know if you ran it for high correlations, but from your experience or from this case study, what does so basically, if you want to rank for your keyword, like if your main keyword is, so instead of putting it exactly in the title or exactly on the page, what would you suggest people do to help them rank higher?
Well, in terms of like Google recently, a Google representative recently said, there are 3 major ranking factors. So the first is content, the second is backlinks, and the third one is rank brain. This is something that was talked about on all SEO publications. So yeah, basically, if you want to rank for a certain keyword, you need to make sure your content is relevant to this keyword in the first place. And by saying relevant, I don't mean that you need to put exact match versions of this keyword into your content. If you have like all these synonyms and like relative terms, that's already enough. Like if a human reader, like a human, let's call it this way, if he will read your content and he will realize that it's really relevant to the keyword that he was searching for, that's enough. And this is actually what Google want to crack from their side, because they want to be able to understand what person is looking for and to find that in the content, even if it doesn't necessarily mention that keyword exactly. And this is what we saw. And like one of the most interesting pieces of our data from this research, I think, is that I don't remember the actual number. I need to pull the article, but in a lot of cases, when we were checking for the keyword anywhere on the page, not just in the title, URL and all that stuff, but even in content, we saw that for lots of searches, I think even for majority of searches, the keyword wasn't present on the page.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So let me, because you're the man with the data. It's funny because after this post came out, I sent you an email because I included you in the roundup, and I said, I pretty much said that, you've got the data because I saw that you switched up the article. I like the original article. I kind of like articles that shock and awe. I mean, shit, that's the world that we live in today, right? I mean, you got to do something to break through. And exactly. You guys ran a huge case study. You had the data to back it up. I mean, I have to say, I probably wouldn't agree that like on page is dead, but like I will say this: it depends how you depends how you define on page.
Yes.
Right. Like the way that I define on page, it's not like I don't do keyword research, and here's why. Because, and I think this is how it fits into your study. So, like for example, if the keyword is like if you sell shoes on your website and you've got a pair of red sneakers, right? The keyword that you found that with the highest volume might be like shoes red. Right. So what people will do is they'll be like shoes red, shop shoes red, something like that. That doesn't make sense. Right. When it should be something along the lines of like a wide selection of red shoes, men, women, and children, something like that. Right. That's descriptive. Like, so the keyword technically, and this is what I think where a lot of people probably got tripped up with your case study, like the exact keyword that you're targeting or that was sampled from your set probably isn't on the page because it just doesn't make sense to be. And that's what Google's gotten so intelligent at, right? This doesn't even really get into rank brain. This is just about reading page semantically, reading like humans, how it should be read, and understanding that shoes red is the same thing as red shoes, red sneakers, red shoes. For all those things correlate to the same thing. So when I do on page, I call it topical, right? Where I'm just focusing around the fact that like, hey, this page is about shoes. This page is selling red shoes, but it might be selling black shoes, depending on how your page is set up, right? It's different sizing and stuff like that. So that's how I look at on page, right? Like I don't do exact match keywords. I don't even look at keywords anymore. I just say, what are we selling? And what's the best opportunity to sell it on this page? And if you can do that, I think then Google will index you, and then you throw in the links and you throw in the other stuff, and building a quality page that people want to find and shit like that. Then that ranks. I mean, so that's kind of my input on it. And then you throw in the rank brain stuff and the artificial learning where, we're talking about things where every keyword now, every single keyword ever searched now is going to trigger a different algorithm based on what Google is saying. Okay, so this is red shoes. It's looking at past data. It's looking at what's currently ranking. It's looking at the link profile of those sites, and it's saying, okay, like this is what a top link profile, and this is where SEO gets very complicated and it just gets even more difficult, more expensive, but where you guys really win as a tool because, you can build on this. If you can understand what a good link profile looks like for each keyword and then apply that to your site and then build on it, then that's where I see the artificial learning and stuff coming into. But yeah, I think you guys did a great case study, and I guess I'm a little bit brasher. I was like, fuck it, man, you should have just left it up. But I understand you guys are working for a big company. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, and actually, one of the latest headlines in terms of targeting topics is that in Google Keyword Planner, they no longer show you the exact search volume of some term. Mm-hmm. So, for example, if you check search volume for SEO and search engine optimization, both will show you, I think, something over 600,000. Mm-hmm. And before that, one of them was showing like 100 and the other was showing 500,000.
Yeah.
So now they group this together as a topic. And for each of them, they show you like the total search volume of this topic.
Yeah.
So again, this is yet another like nail in exact match keyword targeting. And again, in my article, I had quite a few examples. For example, if you search for things like guest blogging, guest posting, guest writing, top 10 will consist of pretty much the same articles. They might just be reordered like slightly differently. Yeah. But again, they are not like they can't be directly targeting each of these exact match keywords, but they still rank because Google realizes that all these things is pretty much the same. And as per Google, they say that like 15% of queries are new each year, and this is a huge number. Mm-hmm. And they say that they still have struggle with realizing what many of these queries mean.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and this is why they invest a lot in all these like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all that stuff to be able to understand what actually people are searching for in Google. Because another interesting observation is that we SEOs, marketers, we kind of know how to search in Google properly. So we basically create our search queries. Okay, I will use this word, and which word should I add to make Google understand what I want?
Yeah.
But other guys, like the younger guys that go online today and that don't realize how all this works, they might just ask, like, where do I buy this? I never like type something in Google like, where do I buy sneakers? I like just go buy sneakers or something like this.
Well, we both know two things on that. Really, number one is that I think a problem that Google's having now is that so much of search is driven by social. You know what I mean? Like social is where things happen. And then I think people are using search kind of specifically, not for shopping maybe, but like topical trends, what's happening in sports. It's happening on, Google's indexing Twitter, but like they can't index it fast enough to pick up like, like Kevin Durant.
They actually pay for their API as far as I know.
Yeah, but I mean, then you look at something
We
like
have the API deal.
Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook, which
Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah.
aren't getting indexed, and there's so much activity. I mean, I think over 4 billion snaps happen a day. So like, this is
Yeah,
literally where topics and keywords are being created, and then people are then taking those and searching Google. Um,
yeah.
it's very
Nice point.
it's very interesting. It's going to see what happens because all this content is being created and really driving these trends that Google's trying to pick up on, but they can't index it, you know? So it's very interesting and it's moving a lot faster. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out for sure. And then of course with shopping, I mean, if you're still optimizing your pages for like buy shoes, I mean, it's just not,
Yeah,
people don't just go to Google and search buy shoes anymore because it's a process, right? I mean, there's a legitimate path to purchase that people follow. I mean, anything over like $5 these days, people have like 50 tabs open and they're looking.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's
Or start with searches like best blah blah blah.
yeah, cheapest. I mean, all these things. They're looking for bloggers. They're looking for recommendations. That's why SEO. I was talking to a prospective client the other day, and you know, we were chatting, and they were like, "Man, you know," basically, I was just telling them like SEO has kind of become like web development now. Like, it's just something that you build a website, you need to have a developer on retainer, and you should really have an SEO on retainer because like it's just something that you have to be doing. It's not just like it's not a 3 month blast campaign to get you rankings anymore.
Yeah,
This is like a continuous maintenance of like you need organic traffic to survive, especially as a small business. You just cannot rely on paid traffic. You have to have some sort of organic presence, especially to complete that whole like path to purchase. Unless you're like just an internet marketer, just like slinging online courses, you can use Facebook ads. But like aside from that, dude, you've got to have a presence everywhere, and organic search is such a big part of that. It's just what you do now, you know. So it's
absolutely.
a good time. It's a good and a bad time to be an SEO. Like you've really got to be up on your shit. But it's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. Anytime
For
soon.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to wrap it up, I mean, because I'm a big content marketer, I know you are yourself. I mean, can you talk to us a little bit about the impact that this case study had for Ahrefs in terms of traffic, in terms of, I don't know if you can share like lead insights or just like if it was good or bad.
It was actually quite good. So our traffic pretty much went
Of course.
super high. Yeah. And an interesting fact is that, again, speaking a little bit of Google ranking signals, I have screenshots where we started ranking on the front page of Google. I think it was position number 6 in less than 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I have a screenshot, and maybe I will later mention this somewhere, like where it will be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I have a screenshot that shows us at position number 6, and it says like 23 hours ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, less than 24 hours, and we were ranking in Google. And also, we had a Google News spot.
I saw that.
With image, yeah, with all that stuff. So yeah, the traffic was crazy. Like it dwarfed like everything else we did on our blog before that. And I'm pretty sure if that wasn't this controversy of on-page SEO is dead, we wouldn't get that much traffic and that much attention. Yeah.
Of course
so
not.
what else I wanted to say there? Okay, what's the question?
Well, I was just gonna say it's kind of like Trump. What's going on in America right now? Like, you know, this isn't a political forum, so I'm not going to comment either way. But basically, what's happening is that, and I'm not saying that you guys are like this at all, but it's kind of the age-old moniker. Like, there's no such thing as bad press, and I'm not saying that you guys had bad press. I think it was very insightful, and you had the data.
Yeah.
That's why.
And actually, even if you look at all the comments and all the tweets, the vast majority, I think 80% or even 90% of tweets were actually good.
Yeah.
And only like 10% were saying, I don't believe this, SEO is not that. And I'm pretty sure that the guys that were tweeting the nasty things, they didn't actually read through the article.
Yeah.
Because again, Russ Jones from Moz, he read the article from start to finish, and he posted a huge comment on Reddit. And his comment was basically on spot. Like he was like, I agree on these things, I don't agree like on the narrow definition on SEO and blah blah blah. So basically, it was like a great comment outlining like everything good and bad about the article. But there was nothing like to be so pissed about. Like if you actually read the article and not just the headline.
Yeah, that's just the internet, though, dude. I mean, there's a lot of trolls out there.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
are. You could have something that was literally printed by Google itself, being like on page SEO is dead, and people be like, no, 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 no.
yeah.
Like it's just the way people are. Especially, I mean, it's great. We work in such a passionate community. SEO is
Yeah,
very, very surprisingly vibrant and massive online community. It's great, but it comes with a lot of trolls too. So yeah, man. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I like to keep these under a half hour. I really appreciate your time, man. It was a great case study.
yeah, sure.
I'm gonna leave a link. Do you want to plug anything while you're here?
I don't know, like if anyone is not still familiar with Ahrefs, like with our huge database of backlinks, with our huge database of keywords, just sign up for free 14-day trial and like see what we can do for you. That's
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I second that. Ahrefs. I have the free, not the free. I have the full version. It's an integral part of what we do on a daily basis for clients, for everything. It's really, I think it's known in the industry as the best link audit tool, but I think over the last probably 6 months, I'd say it's gotten a lot of traction in terms of competitive research and the other stuff. And the new UI on it's very clean too. It's very easy to
Yeah,
use.
thank you.
Yeah, it's very clean. So definitely check it out. And I'll leave links to Tim's social profiles and everything underneath that. Again, Tim, I appreciate your time. We'll be in touch,
Thanks.
man.
Yeah.
Take care, man.